Hello, it is Monday the 17th of January and welcome to this week's vlog. Good point, bad point tonight. Good point. I finished Mimic tonight and I read 239 pages. Bad point is a 3-star and I feel like such a letdown after the Ragdoll series. One of the things I loved about the Ragdoll series was that Daniel was able to seamlessly have comedic timings and grisly and gruesome murders and be serious and funny at the same time and have emotions, and it was a great blend. And with characters and police officers who had flaws, but there were flaws you could kind of understand and you could get around and you could support. With this one, the police officers felt like caricatures, and it was seriously just like, they are getting away with such simple stuff. There was no way they would get away with this and carry on with this case. It wasn't going to happen. And I did feel like the comedic and romance elements kind of overshone the gruesome. And as I literally got to the end and I was like, where's the twist? There were some obvious red herrings, but I feel I literally got to the ending, went meh, and I genuinely feel that these red herrings should have actually been twists, because I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. So yeah, a 3 stars. Will I unhaul? Let me see how I feel at the end of the year. I'm not sure just yet. I just can't believe how big of a letdown it was. On another good news, I posted my wrap up for November and December. So if you haven't watched that, I will link it down below. Yeah. So I have one more unlisted video to release, which is my December book haul. But I still need to film. Reading goals and reading journals. Well, over here, reading journal. 22 books to read in 2022, which I've already read 3 books from. And my buzzword video. I'm not sure if I will do a Pop Sugar one. I know I said earlier, well, a few weeks ago, that I probably wouldn't, because I only have like half the books. But you know what? I might just film it whenever I get time and just be like, this is what I'm wanting to read, and then see if that changes. But yeah, it's about 10:10, so I'm going to go to bed, if I'm honest, because I'm shattered. But there are 2 books that I could potentially pick up tomorrow after work, and they're both books that I want to get to ASAP, so I have no idea which one I will pick up. But you know, looks like I will be reading more than my 9 books planned for this month. Yay. But you know, it's never a plan to read more than I plan. It's just happened, and yay. So yeah, that's where I'll leave the start of this vlog. And if it looks like I'm about to tear up, it's I've just yawned about 40 times in a row. So I will update you tomorrow when I decide what book I will start. Tuesday evening. I'm currently halfway through Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Quick synopsis of what this book's about. A young girl goes to find the Prince of Hearts and begs for a deal to stop the wedding of her one true love and her stepsister. But the Prince of Hearts says for his help, she has to give him or have 3 kisses with anyone of his choosing at any moment in time, and she realises that this isn't as simple as she thought it would be. I'm going to try and explain how I feel without spoiling this book. You will have noticed there is a cut because I spoiled it massively. This book is very fast paced. You are straight into the plot, well, story, as in you meet this character, Evangeline, as she's looking for the Prince of Hearts. Don't mind that. Don't mind the story up to the point of her deal, what happens at this wedding, the chapter after this, her meeting characters from the Caraval series, which was a nice surprise. Great. The story has now gone on to a separate island in the north for a prince who is looking for a princess to be a queen. To be his queen, I should say, and to be a king. That's the way for him to be king, he has to have a princess married. Not a massive spoiler, I'll be honest, because it's within like the first 10, well, not even 10. No, let's say first 15%. About that, you hear this story. After that, I have no idea what the flip I've read or what the actual overall plot of this story is. There's been crumbs of what it's supposed to be, but I have no idea. I have no idea what makes this main character so interesting, if I'm honest. She is extremely naive, to the point of I want to say she's almost stupid. There is nothing not redeeming, but there is nothing where I'm reading about her going, why is the Prince of Jax, why is he so interested in you, why are all these things happening, what makes you this character? And the only reason she is kind of interesting is because of her deal with the Prince of Jax. Well, Prince of Hearts, I should say. He's called Jax, but he's not the Prince of Hearts yet. The side characters, I have no interest in them. The relationship between Jax, as he's known as the Prince of Hearts, is Jax at times, Prince of Hearts other times. The relationship with him and Evangeline, I find it very creepy. He isn't abusive, but he is very blackmaily towards her, and I don't like that, especially with the massive age gap. I'm sorry, trying to build this romance between him and her, with him being who he is and her naivety. It's creepy. I don't like it. It's exploitative. These side characters, bland. I don't like any of, but I can't even say I don't like any of them because you don't know enough about them to like them. It's literally just, here's the side character, 5 chapters later, they're mentioned again, now they're gone. It's like, okay. Or they're mentioned as to be like part of this big plot, never mentioned again. The Stepsister. Part of our glorious main character's naivety is that she's convinced that her stepmother is an evil witch, poisoning everything and trying to ruin her life. But her stepsister is innocent and would never hurt her. I'm sorry, it is blatantly obvious stepsister is evil. I'm disappointed with how I feel about this book so far. It is fast paced, that is one good thing I will say. The writing is okay. But I love the I want to say I love the Caraval series, but I thought it was a really good series. I gave it like 4 stars. I think one book got 5. It was a good series, well, trilogy. This is a 3 stars at the moment, potentially 2.5. So unless it gets better in the second half, I might be unhauling this at the end of the year. Which I never would have thought I would have said. I potentially could finish this tonight. I mean, I read 204 pages in an hour and a half. I have about 2 hours before I need to go to bed for work. There's nothing making me want to read it tonight, finish it tonight. Which is disappointing because it's one of my top books to read this year. So unfortunately, the update for today is not good. Let's hope if I finish it tomorrow, it's a bit better. 8:30 Wednesday. I finished Once Upon a Broken Heart. Can someone tell me what the actual plot of this book was meant to be? And it's a 3-star. I don't mean that in a mean way, and I know it sounds mean, but there's so many little plots that I'm like, which is the main one? Genuinely, is it meant to be this thing with Jack? Or is it with the stepsister? Or is it with this story? Or is it with this other fate? And I'm literally just like, what is the main plot? What is the main plot? I get it's the first in the trilogy, I think it is. It has to set things up, but it's setting too many things up. Also, obviously the stepsister, like I said in my earlier update, obviously stepsister was evil. Do I believe she didn't do the second thing? No, not really. By her reaction, do I believe she had an interaction with Jack before? Yes, or with one of the other fates. I still think our main protagonist is incredibly stupidly naive. Jax, you know what? The way the Caraval trilogy ended, I genuinely liked Jax. And that's going to sound really weird, but the way him and Donatella ended and the way that story ended, I felt for him. I wanted a book about him. I wanted a book about them two coming back together. I don't like the Jax in this book. He's very much being set up to be manipulative and not to be trustworthy. Absolutely, 100%. I just think it clashes a tiny bit with how it's ended at the end of Legendary. Finale is the last one. If I'm remembering that wrong, please someone remind me. Just the way it was ended, because remember there was a letter, and just the way it was ended, yeah. Am I going to carry this trilogy on? I think I will. You shouldn't read books just because of the ending, like Ada keeps telling me. And you shouldn't carry on a series because of the ending, like Ada keeps telling me. It's a 3-star, so I shouldn't want to carry it on. But I very much think it is because of my love for Caraval. I'm hoping that the next book and the book after that will be so much better that I won't care this was a 3-star. But living up to the Caraval hype, it's not up there. I'm genuinely gutted that it's not up there. But that means book 8 for January complete, and it's not even the 20th of January yet. Well, that's tomorrow. I am going to start Under the Whispering Door tonight. I don't plan on reading a lot of it, so I won't update you. I don't know if there'll be an update tomorrow, because looking at my reading journal, which I still need to film, by the way, so you cannot see it, I have a calendar page now to write down how many pages I read each day, so I can see what I'm like when I'm at work and when I'm at the weekend and things, just to see, just for me. And for the past 2 Thursdays I've not read, so little old me thinks that might continue. If it doesn't though, I loved it. But yeah, little bit disappointed. Well, it's Saturday lunchtime. I finished Under the Whispering Door. I know I didn't really talk to you about what this was or what my thoughts were at all. So you follow a man called Wallace who was a lawyer when he was alive, very much on his own, strict, his way or the highway, etc. He dies and wakes up arrives, I should say, at his funeral and finds this girl, May, who's like, I'm going to take you to this ferryman who's going to show you how to pass on to the other side. And then you see Wallace at this tea shop, called Charon's Cross, and him coming to terms with his death and little things like that. Not a little thing, but yeah. Basically, this story is about coming to terms with death. That's the way I see it. I didn't enjoy it as much as House and Cerulean Sea. It's a good story, it is, and I want to say I like the twist at the end, but I don't. I think the romance plot of this story wasn't needed, and it didn't really add much. It actually changed the story for me, because the main character had come to terms with his death and he was ready to move on, and all of a sudden, yeah, I didn't like that, and the ending, really, I give it 3 stars. The writing was good, the majority of the story was good, the characters were good, it was a romance, and it was the ending for me. There's so much good work had been done, and then, nope, changing because this romance had to happen. I just didn't like it. But that is my last book from my TBR for January. Complete! Woohoo! And yes, I am wearing Christmas pyjamas. So now I've finished my TBR. What am I reading next, you may think? Nothing for the next few hours, because I need to get some washing done and hoover and mop the kitchen floor and brush my hair, brush my teeth and get dressed into comfies. So yeah, I'll update you sometime tonight with what book I do end up starting. 6:30. I have finished The Gilded Cage by Lynette Noni. 5 stars. I need the 3rd book now. That ending and them twists in the final couple of chapters, I need it now. The writing, the pacing, the story, the development, the characters, the twists. Perfect. This is the perfect 2nd book in a trilogy. If it's going to be a series, let me know, but I think it's a trilogy. I loved it. I love I can't say too much without spoiling it, so I'm going to have to leave it there. If you haven't read The Prison Healer, the 1st book in this trilogy, go read it. It is fantastic. It is Lynette's debut book, I believe. It was perfect. You have... So in the 1st book, The Prison Healer, you follow Kiva. I can't remember her name, I've just read this book. You follow Kiva, who is a prisoner in this land. She's been there since she was 7. It's now 10 years later. She's there unjustly, and then a rebel is brought in to the prison, and she's set to be killed, murdered, and she decides to volunteer as tribute, as our Katniss would say, for trials, and then a prisoner in there helps her, and you hear more about this land, why there's these rebels, and there's twists, and it's amazing, and this is just as amazing. The 3rd book comes out in June, so I can't wait. I need it now. But that does take me also into double digits for the year. On Goodreads, I'm currently 4 books ahead of schedule. I need to carry on, because if anything like last year, there will be a couple of months where I will reach target or not read and not reach target. Even worse. So I have chosen another book to read today, because I have a feeling I will finish this one today as well, because it is an author who I adore, whose writing I always whiz through because it's so fantastic, and that is You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen M. Mcmanus. I adore Karen's work. She is my go-to YA thriller writer, and I will read you the blurb for this book. Skipping school is fun, until someone gets murdered. Ivy, Mateo and Carl used to be close, best friends back in middle school. So when Carl pulls into campus later for class and runs into Ivy and Mateo, they decide to ditch school. Just like old times. But they're not the only ones skipping school that day. When the trio spot classmate Brian Boney Mahoney acting suspiciously downtown, they follow him into an empty building and walk straight into a murder scene. Now that their day of freedom has turned deadly, it's only a matter of time before the truth comes out. This is 324 pages long. Now, this book is 100 pages bigger, and I read this in 3 hours. So it should be that I come to you before 10 or at 10 saying, I finished. But yeah, let's see how I get on. And do you like the sprayed edges? One thing I love about the Public Penguin publishing over here in the UK with Waterstones is that every first edition of any of her books, they get sprayed edges to match the colour on the front, and I think that is fantastic. So, let the reading commence. And before I go, yes, I'm still in my winter pyjamas. I have changed underwear. I'm just having a very, very lazy day today. Hello, 9:30 Saturday. I finished You'll Be the Death of Me. I give it 4 stars. I really enjoy it. Like I said before, I really enjoy Karen's work. The pacing is always, it's the same, it never kind of slows down, which is kind of nice to read, or if it is a slowing down moment, it doesn't interrupt the flow, which I really enjoy. And I also like the fact that it's always a group of characters that you wouldn't think to put together, wouldn't work together, and then you see them interact and you see that actually they do work well together. I know it was going to be in this case because obviously these were childhood friends, but it was nice to see them come back together and kind of work with each other and see them kind of help each other develop, which is really nice. The twist of the books in the story, I always find with Karen that it tends to be every couple of chapters there's a twist or there's a reveal, and while I don't mind that normally, I do think in this one there was a couple too many reveals or twists, and the last reveal in the last chapter, I think it's an epilogue, is it just a chapter? No, it's just the last chapter, it's not an epilogue. That wasn't needed. It felt like a bit of an add-on, or just, oh, I need to wrap this up, here's the reason. Also, the relationship between one of our main three, Carl, and that other person wasn't needed because it didn't have the... It's going to sound bad because it's such a taboo subject. It's something that shouldn't be done at all. But it didn't have an impact on the story as such, like a big one, which I would have thought it would have done. And I know people about Michelle, that other character is part of this story. Correct, but their relationship with Carl didn't have a massive impact because, if I'm honest, it was kind of just used as a bit of a storyline ploy. And I know I get 4 stars and people like Michelle, but surely that would make it lower. Unfortunately, it doesn't, because it does show how people in this situation can cover their tracks so they don't get in trouble. And I'm not going to lie, the ending where literally it almost feels like it's being brushed aside or just a little slap on the wrist, I hate it. I always think in them storylines it needs to be that there is something found, there is a justice, and there isn't, and I don't, and that's the main reason it gets 4 stars. But yeah, I'm not reading anymore tonight. I could, because I'm generally not tired. Cue yawn. That wasn't a yawn, that was a little hiccup, I think. Yay! So I could read another book, however, I'm not, because I've read 864 pages today. I am something ridiculous like 5 books ahead of schedule for my Goodreads goal, so... And there's the yawn. Yeah, so I don't need to read another book. And it's just so nice to know I have like just over a week, just over a week I should say, to read whatever I want. I know I did that today as well, but it's just nice. I have got 2 books in mind at the moment, however I may wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I don't want to read these 2 today. And that would be great. But tomorrow I do need to film and backlog more videos. Because we're not at D&D. A couple of us are busy tomorrow. My plans unfortunately fell apart due to COVID. So I'm no longer busy, I'm free, but other members of the group are busy, and you know what? It's nice to know we can just break apart if needed and do what we have to do. So, I will update you. As I was going to say before, I was really interrupted. I will update you tomorrow with what I start reading and what I manage to film. I'm hoping for 2 videos. Fingers crossed it is 2. Hello, quick update. It is Sunday afternoon. It's about 4, I want to say. Yeah, 20 past 4. I'm a bit late. I have actually started and finished Trick or Treat by Katarina Diamond. Book number 7 in the DS is Imogen Grey series. I often say Isabel. It is a 5-star. I adore this series. You follow Imogen and Adrian, who work in the police force as they tackle investigations, and you see their relationship develop. You see them, how they process through these investigations, how they go from one step to the other, and you have a wide variety of side characters who are as important as the main characters, and I can't really say too much more because spoilers, as it is book 7. One thing I will say is I love how Katarina deals with Adrian's storyline. It is a bit harrowing. It's a bit of a taboo subject that not a lot of people talk about, and I like how she deals with it, and you get to see how the victims of this ordeal do cope with things, and I love seeing Imogen grow as her own independent woman. The next book I will be reading tonight is Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. This is not in the Percy Jackson world or the Magnus Chase world or the Kane Chronicles. I'll read a synopsis because this isn't part of my planned TBR. None of my books now from now on this month are part of my planned TBR. So I'll read a synopsis. Anna Dakar is a student at Harding Pencroft Academy, a school that trains the best underwater explorers in the world. Generations of Dakars have attended HP, and Anna hopes she has what it'll take to succeed. Her worries are blown out of the water though when she witnesses a tragedy that will change her life. Because it turns out Harding Pencroft and its rival school, Land Institute, have been fighting a Cold War for 150 years, and it's just turned hot. Pursued by enemies, Anna learns her family's ties with Harding Pencroft go deeper than she ever imagined. Back to her not-so-fictional ancestor, the legendary Captain Nemo. Land Institute will stop at nothing to acquire the secrets of Nemo's technological genius. Only Anna and her class of half-trained freshmen stand against them, and with her enemies seemingly always one step ahead, can Anna trust anyone but herself? So this is inspired by 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, I believe. It's not that. It's 336 pages, so Chloe has sprints on tonight, so I will hopefully start and finish. But I am sat on the floor, so I am getting ready to film. I am filming 2 videos today, like I had hoped. I am filming my February TBR and my Buzz Wordathon video as well. So I best get cracking on with them. Hi, Sunday evening, I finished Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan, or Riordan, 5 stars. A standalone that needs to be a series. I love Rick's writing. I love how he interprets stories, his character development, his twists. I love it all, and I'm being really vague because I literally cannot say anything without spoiling this book, because literally within like the first 3 chapters you have about 70 different twists and 70 different reveals. I know it's an exaggeration, but yeah. But that was my 13th book of the year complete. And again, I only had 9 books on my TBR. And it's my 4th book of the weekend. God, can you do you know what? It sounds like I haven't done anything else all weekend, but genuinely I have. I think the one thing I haven't done is washed my kitchen floor. But I am going to wrap this vlog up now because I am knackered and I need to go to bed to work. But I think I can say that was a cracking week for me. What? 7 books, I want to say? I think it's 7 books read this week. Wow. Until the next one though. Bye.